I have several things that I want to share with you that are going to change your life for the better. Sometimes we are up against an invisible wall and we just can't seem to get to that next level. Well, I want to share with you 3 reasons why most people hate what they're doing. I'm Dolores Jones, your comeback coach. I'm so glad that you're here with me. You know what I do. I show you how to bounce back better, not bitter, through life experiences and bad decisions. And guess what? I have missed you. But you know, you're about your life, you're living, and life happens. And then sometimes you feel a jolt or a complete stop in the middle of the road. So let's talk about those 3 things, and I'll share with you what you can do about them. Isn't that all right? Well, come on in and let me know where you are watching from. Hello to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I want you to like and share the video. Is that all right? Like and share the video as many times as you want, and subscribe to my channel. So number one of the 3 reasons why most people continue to do things that they hate is that they are afraid to try anything different. Absolutely afraid. Or maybe you've heard it like this: fear. The fear that if they let go of this particular thing, if they lose this particular relationship, then that's it for them. And fear really is a state of mind. It's a state of mind that you can change with the right information. And that's why I'm doing this video. So number 1 is you're afraid. You have fear. Now, Zig Ziglar, I love his definition of fear. He said you have 2 options. You can face it and run, or you can face it and rise. I prefer to rise above the circumstances and the situation. And if you really think about it, there are certain things in your life that you've excelled at those things and you are doing it. But sometimes life continues to happen. We have those good days, we have the rainy days, and then we have those days like a Monday. And did you know Mondays, can you believe this? Scientifically, it has been proven that Mondays between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock is when most heart attacks occur. Why? Because people, 85%, they absolutely hate what they're doing. And it's the anxiety of knowing, man, tomorrow I got to go into that job I hate. Because you feel stuck. You don't see a way to go up. I remember when I first graduated from the journalism school, Columbia School of Journalism, as a broadcast journalist. And I received my first job as I guess you would call it, I don't want to call it a runner, but I was an assistant to the reporters, and I was supposed to make phone calls and all other types of things to help with the stories. But every morning, and no one knew this, every Sunday and then every day, I would have this pit in my stomach. I was so anxious. I was so nervous. I couldn't think. And so when I would show up at the TV station, and I would sit down at the desk to write, I couldn't write. I couldn't think of anything. I was having like a panic attack. Sometimes I would see some of the anchors in the restroom or something. They'll go, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I wasn't okay. I wasn't okay because I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure if I was cut out for hard news. And the truth of the matter is, I can report news, but I'm more of a motivational speaker and a life giver. So that's why I like talk shows and opportunities to read and write my books, because I want to inspire you towards a level of greatness. But even in the midst of the discomfort, I kept going back. Why? Because that's what we're taught to do. And I thought, well, this is what I wanted, right? This is what I went to school for. But what you went to school for isn't necessarily what you were made for. I'm going to say that again. What you went to school for isn't necessarily what you were made for. I love it. I heard it like this: a job is what you get paid to do. A calling is what you are made to do. And here's the thing. If you stop and think about it, you've been doing it for a long, long time. Your family knows this. When you were in school, you knew it. But somewhere along the lines, you became distracted by secondary situations and the wrong information, and it was all about the Benjamins. And now you're walking around burdened by a job that you don't even like, and the clock is a ticking. You have more years behind you than you do in front of you. So you have to take time to decide, is this how I'm going to go out? Am I going to go out like this? I hope not. I hope not, because you deserve better. You deserve better. And maybe you've heard opposite of that because we live in a negative society. At least 75% of our subconscious mind is negative. Why? You live in a negative society. Did you know it takes 16 positive statements to cancel out one negative statement? That's how powerful this thing is. That's why you have to go at it like you mean business. You know how somebody's messing with you? God, it's okay. Don't mess with me. Now, you don't do that. If you're really serious about it, you're like, you know what? You don't want none of this. And if somebody's, bothering you and just nagging you, you get to swinging and hitting. So I want you to think about all of those negative conversations, the negative things that people said to you. I remember being married and I was uncertain. I was 23. I had just graduated from college, and I really wasn't sure. But I wanted to try. And I heard my husband at the time, I was looking in a magazine, something simple, reading Essence magazine. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the Essence Festival. And he overheard me saying that. And he looked at me and he said, Dolores, you don't know what you want to do. And it stayed with me. In fact, I never went to the Essence Festival. Ever. You see how powerful that was? I thought maybe he's right. Because we are afraid. We are afraid. And then when we're feeling down and the wrong person comes along and they speak something into your spirit, you let it stay there when you actually have the opportunity to uproot that sucker. We're talking about the 3 reasons why most people do things they hate. Number 1 is they're afraid to. In other words, there's fear. You've heard it, false evidence appearing real. Who said that you could do that? One of my good mentors, Dr. Ruben West, when he was venturing out to do something different, the question was, who's going to stop me? And I said, you better come on. And now he's world renowned. He has an academy in Nairobi, Kenya, and he's just traveling the world and taking people with him. And in fact, I'm going to Nairobi, Kenya in July or August as it gets better. But so that's number 1. Number 2, one of the reasons most people do what they hate doing is because they can't see themselves doing anything else. That means they have a limited vision of themselves. Well, I'm going to stay here because, at least I know, how to do these taxes. I'm not really sure. I was talking to Ronnie, and Ronnie has been in business for a long time. She has a business degree, but her heart is in having a daycare. And we were talking, and I said to her, what do you really want to do? She said, I want to open my own daycare. I said, okay, Ronnie. I said, so what have you done towards it? She says, well, I already got a certificate a long time ago. I said, you did? She said, yeah. I said, okay, so half the work is done. She said she did it like 12 years ago. And maybe some of you are sitting there waiting. It's been 10 years, 5 years, 15 years. And you know in your heart of hearts that you want to do something, but you won't do it because you are down with the Benjamins and you don't think that you can afford to leave your job. And I get that. I so get it. But sometimes when it comes to your dream, you're going to have to be willing to take a step back, and instead of eating all this filet mignon, you might have to eat a fish sandwich. In other words, you need to start working, not to live, right? That means how do you make your money work for you? What are some of the inconveniences you are willing to tolerate in order to become the person that you know you were meant to be? So I kept talking to Ronnie, and I said, you know what? You can do this. You can do this. I can? I said, yeah. Because sometimes you don't have to quit your job. You can do just a little bit of it to just get a taste to find out if you really want to run your own business. So we started brainstorming. And I said, think about some people who already have a daycare and see if you can help out during the weekend. A few hours. Because then you can see the inner workings. And then that person, you never know. Some people are ready to retire, but they can't find a qualified candidate to pass their business on to. It is the truth. And maybe you're thinking, Dolores, you're right. Absolutely. I'm not saying it to impress you. I'm saying what I'm saying to impress upon you the importance of you really stopping and paying attention to the reasons why you're doing things that you hate doing, but you continue to do them. What's the payoff? A shiny car, but you're unhappy. Y'all got a big old house, but you're miserable. I knew a lady, her husband did everything. She had the finest clothing, the finest jewelry, you name it. But she was in that big house with the shades closed and depressed, and she was on all kind of medication because she had become accustomed to that lifestyle, but she was miserable. And she didn't know, she didn't believe if she let it go, she could get it back. But thankfully, she let it go, and she became a doctor in ministry. And so now she's teaching other people how to let it go. There is a reason why you are here. And maybe you can't see yourself doing it because somebody told you you couldn't do it. But who are they? Why do you have to believe them? I have to tell people, are you God? I don't think so. And I didn't ask you all that. Your opinion of me does not pay my bills, okay? You're sitting around, you're worried and you're fretting about who's going to like you. And what I have come to learn, and most people who are successful, you're going to create some enemies and you're going to lose some friends. In fact, recently I lost another friend. And I'm like, what did I do? You know, sometimes you've had relationships for 20 years, 22 years and beyond. And once something could happen and then the person just throws the whole relationship away. I was like, Lord, no, not again. So if I count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4. And these are people that I love spending time with, that I felt part of my happiness is having my friends around me. But I can't make you love me, and I can't make you like me. And I reached out, and I sent a text message, and I went through Messenger. I called the person's job. I can't talk to you right now. And I said, well, will you at least call me and tell me what I did? And the person would never do it. And so I said, Dolores, you got to let her go. I was like, but... So I wrote her a nice little note today. I said, you know what? I thank God for the time that we have, over 22 years of laughing and the spontaneous energy. And I even told her how she inspired me because she has a let's make it happen attitude. That's my girl. We was going to roll out. But something happened that I'm not aware of that apparently she doesn't want anything to do with me. And you know what? She has a right to feel that way, even if I don't know what happened. So I basically said to her, you know, I will always be here for you. That's right. Because you don't have to let somebody else's refusal to love you cause you not to love back. 22 years of a relationship is a long time. And you had 22 years of something going right. And if something went wrong and it's deadly, I understand that. But if something happened and it hurts your feelings, come on, we got to grow up. We really do. I can't tell you how to get over it. But what I can tell you is if you don't get over it, you're not hurting anybody else, you're hurting yourself. Because sometimes as adults, we're going to agree to disagree. And a mature approach is, let me tell you how I feel. Let me tell you what I perceived happened. And then you give the person an opportunity to explain themselves. And then if you come together and you agree that this relationship is not beneficial for either one of you, that makes sense. So you're going to piss a lot of people off. And you have to learn to be okay with that. And here's the thing. Emmanuel, I see you, honey. God will give you new friends. He will give you new friends. He'll give you friends that you didn't even think you would ever meet. And thanks to technology, you'll meet people on social media. Now, I'm not talking about the crazies, okay? I'm talking about people who are about substance. And you may follow their YouTube channel. Mine is Dolores Jones TV. Emmanuel Dillard has his own. And that's how we met, right? And he's, Miss Dolores, your videos give me life. I remember the story you said that Tony Braxton was looking for somebody and you raised your hand and you said you can't wait for other people to support you or affirm you. And I end up singing center stage with the Tony Braxton. He says, Miss Dolores, every day I watch that video over and over again. He's like, I know that you have other videos, but that one video, that's my jam, in other words, right? That's what I need to kickstart myself. And then he began to share with me other chances and risks that he took to show up. And even if it didn't pan out the way he hoped it had, he believed enough in himself to do it. And that's called self-esteem. And that's the third reason some people continue to do things they hate. They lack self-esteem. Webster defines self-esteem as confidence and fulfillment in oneself. Confidence that you can pull it off. Confidence that you can do it. Now remember, when you first started walking, you didn't come out walking, right? In fact, you couldn't really move. Somebody had to pick you up. They had to change your little stinky diaper. They had to put your clothes on. You couldn't even burp yourself. So it was a process. And then eventually you had someone to say, come on, you can take your step. Come on, you can take a step. Because they were excited. It was something new. But sometimes that newness wears off in relationships and people start acting ignorant. There's a young woman that I know, and her son, she had two, but one of her sons, he was growing, but he liked to crawl on his hands. And at first I thought, well, what's wrong? Because most kids by this stage, they're walking like straight up. And she said, he'll walk when he gets ready. And you know what happened? He started walking when he got ready. See, sometimes these timetables trip us out. If you say, well, so-and-so was a millionaire by the time they were 49 and I'm 50, so that's it for me. Believe me, I got caught up with that. And then I had to stop and say, Dolores Jones, you are not Tyler Perry, okay? You are not. Now, you and Tyler have similar experiences because everybody goes through adversities. But what can you learn from Tyler Perry? Tyler Perry knew why he was here. He knows why he is here. And even when he saved $30,000 for his first play and only like 10 people showed up, he was not deterred. He slept in his car. He became suicidal. But then one day he got a phone call because T.D. Jakes had a book called Woman Thou Art Loose. And someone told T.D. Jakes, you should turn this book into a story. He says, well, I don't know anybody that can produce a show or a play. So before it became a movie, it became a stage play. The person said, I know this guy named Tyler Perry. He connected Tyler Perry with T.D. Jakes, and the play, Woman Thou Art Loose, came to life. And from there, it became a movie. And did you know that although T.D. Jakes has been preaching for many, many years, that all it took was 7 minutes for him to be seen. And that was it. That's why you can't just wait until the opportunity presents itself. You must be ready. If you're going to preach to the chair. If I'm going to talk, sometimes I'm talking, y'all don't even know this. I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to talk about that topic today. And I literally start going through the conversation. And I say, Dolores Jones, that was good, honey. You got to run with that, boo. And now I've gotten to the point where I don't look for people to affirm it. I understand that there's somebody that needs it. And maybe this message isn't even for you. But I'd like for you to like it and share it. Because somebody is depending on you. Somebody is depending on me. There was a young woman who had completed... This person is mimicking me in my demonstrative self. Don't come for me, baby. Okay. Anyway, and we're back. It's contagious. Joy is contagious. Okay. Well, the young lady said there was a woman on her job and the woman had lost her mother. And the young woman said, I just want to die. I can't make it. Because sometimes that's how you feel. Nobody can tell you how to feel. But don't allow a temporary situation cause you to make a permanent decision like suicide. So she said, I want you to watch my friend. We go to church together. Her name is Dolores Jones, and she's the comeback coach. And she's on Channel 5 at this TV show called Better Kansas City. And so she sent her a couple of videos. And then she said, well, Dolores' mother passed away when Dolores was 5 years old. Her mother was 21 years old, and her mother died of a heroin overdose. She's like, what? She said, and then by the time Dolores was 17, she was living in an abandoned home because crack and stuff came through their neighborhood. And, you know, it hits everybody sometimes. And so there she was, and she had to make a decision. She decided she was going to bathe in the basement bathroom at Donnelly College. It was a community college. That was the only option that she saw that was feasible. And Dolores would go to this school, and she signed the papers. Because sometimes you don't have somebody that can sign off for you. And you just got to be straight. I was like, look, I don't have anybody at home that can sign these papers. But what I do know is I'm going to college. And I got enrolled, and they found the money. And the first semester, she told her Dolores emerged with a 4.0 GPA, even after bathing in the basement bathroom of a college and doing her homework by candlelight. See, sometimes the conveniences of life hold us hostage. Well, if you ain't got air conditioning, I ain't coming. Well, what happened to a fan? Before we had air conditioning, we had fans, and we put them in the window. And then you can take water and squirt it. There's so many different things. But because the air conditioning the central air, you don't have to work as hard. So you just crash. No, you can't do that, honey. You can't do that. I keep a church fan, honey. I keep a church fan because I get hot all the time. Okay, I get hot all the time. I be like, Jesus, it's hot in here. I don't know if it's menopause or whatever, but listen, it gets hot. So I have to be prepared. Dolores Jones, your comeback coach, is my name. I'm here to show you how to bounce back better, not bitter, through life experiences and bad decisions. I'm the author of a book called Stop the Dumb Stuff, Destructive, Unsettling, Miserable Behavior. And my next book is called How to Bounce Back Better, Not Bitter, through life experiences and bad decisions. And I'm definitely going to give you some strategies and some information that if you try it, you're going to see the results. Dolores, well, I read about this and I read about that. Well, how long should I keep doing it? You do it until it produces the results that you want. That's what you do. We're faithful, but unfortunately, some of us are faithful to dead things. And it's okay once you recognize it. Now take that energy and go some other place. Zoe, Tiffany. Hey, Miss Jewel. Let's see y'all. I want you to take a moment right now. Click like and share the video. Click like and share the video. What I'm going to do is take a moment to give you time to do that. And then we're going to come back for part 2. Y'all know what I do every morning. Guess. Bella Rose, I take my baby to the doggy daycare. Bella, I don't know if you can see her yet, but we got business to take care of. There she is. Y'all see her. Bella, you ready? It's just the way it is. Some things will change. And I'll see you back in 120 seconds. I feel like television. And we're done. I'll be right back. Thank y'all.